So we all play video games, right? I mean, that's a fair assumption to make. Okay, there's always one that's going to say disagree with it.
I'm a contrarian.
I disagree with everything that's popular. So we all play video games, and I feel like, especially in recent years, one thing that goes hand in hand with most people that play video games is that they're all fucking weebs.
Yeah,
they all consume... Yeah, that's you. We all just consume an excessive amount of Japanese media for some reason, and we can all come together and like bond over this because people used to make fun of us in high school, in college for liking anime and manga, and now it's like it's weird. It's like there's been like a weird shift in what people generally think of anime. Now it's kind of like this thing that people like and it's cool, and if you watch anime you're suddenly interesting, and I'm like, bro, I got fucking bullied in high school for watching Dragon Ball Z. What happened?
Ninja.
I was called an edgelord for watching Death Note, which, you know, kind of makes sense.
I mean, I would still double down on that.
Yeah, I would still, it's moving on.
Fucking edgelord.
So I just wanted to, just talk to you guys about anime. Like, what's your favorite animes? What is your experience of animes? I think Dan is the person I'm most familiar with when it comes to anime because I've talked to him about it most. But I'm intrigued. Like, favorite animes? Any experience of anime whatsoever? Just open conversation. Let's go.
I actually really want to hear
Mouthfools.
Gab's answer because I don't take him as an anime watcher for some reason. I guess because he's a dad. So I'm really curious what.
See, that's the opposite for me. That is the opposite for me. I take Gab as probably the most anime watcher here,
Potentially.
or at least the old school anime stuff. I'm not sure if he's more of a like current season anime watcher, but.
Fyrus has a point. I'm actually a huge Mobile Suit Gundam fan, and it's a series that it's been going on, but the new stuff isn't as good as like the old, like 70s stuff where they just recycle animation and all that, and you see like every time the main character gets shot, he's like, oh. It's just fantastic. But I'm actually quite a big anime fan. I haven't had as much time as I want to watch anime.
Right.
The one I've been watching most recently is Spy X Family, which is...
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot about Spy Family.
It's pretty adorable.
That's my boy, that's
There
my
he
boy!
goes.
That's my boy, I raised him right!
Anya's smug face is everything I need in life. But I gotta say, as far as anime goes, I can't say which one is probably the one for me,
You don't have like a favorite all-time anime or anything like that?
I mean, at one point it was One Piece because, but I got like One Piece burnout,
We raised him right!
There it is. That's right.
Because I remember watching One Piece religiously, like every day log in, watch like 4 or 5 One Piece. I went through the entire filler stuff of the anime. And at some point, I got to the time skip, and I was like, I need a break. There's just too much One Piece for me.
What? Okay, so you got like a good 500 episodes in.
That's the thing.
I don't know much about One Piece at the moment. I'm only like 200 or so episodes, but I know the time skip is like way in. Like you're in the thick of it at that point.
Yep, I'm a big jump. And this is the thing, I was in the thick of it, and I stopped, and now there's so many more episodes after the time skip.
It's like doubled in length, yeah.
But I'm like,
It's
do I
all
start
good,
back
though.
from the beginning? Or from the time skip? Because I'm like, it's been years since I saw the 500 episodes. I can't remember everything. There's going to be some important stuff. One Piece is a life investment, and I'm not ready for that step in my life, I'm just, I'm mingling with other animes, but at some point I'm gonna settle down and go.
One Piece is like a marriage. Yeah, I get you.
Time skip recaps you well. I'm not gonna spoil it. They do a good job at recapping. That's just story. They do a good job. Like what happened in blah 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 blah. Yeah.
What about you, Jay? Because I know for a fact that you're probably the least in tune with this kind of stuff, but I know you've at least watched one in your life.
Yeah,
I don't know how much more beyond that.
Yeah, we did actually. I'm glad that we're talking about this with Dan in the room because Dan has actually showed me. I've watched 2 of the 3 animes that I've ever seen with Dan. The first one, the first anime that I ever watched was Project K. At the time, it was my favorite. I thought it was really, really good. It was my favorite because it was the only one I'd ever seen. But I couldn't tell you for the life of me what that show is about right now because I saw it like 5 years ago and I was like, oh, Project K, that's pretty good. I don't remember the plot in the slightest. It was something about how this main character guy has like a ghost that follows him around and he's got like superpowers or some shit. I don't even.
It says a young, easygoing boy finds himself caught in a psychic war between 7 knights after he is wrongly accused of murder.
I think that was actually the plot for most the Batman, I believe. Anyway,
I was gonna say.
So I remember seeing that and being like, okay, this is really good. I hadn't had time. I never get really time to watch anime, so the second anime that I ever watched, actually all three of us, we were going to, when we were in Canada for Gab's wedding in 2019, the very last day, Dan and I started watching this anime called Kakegurui. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I just remember
the gambling one, right? I was there for that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You were there for that, and then you passed out, and you were like, "Turn it down." But we kept watching so many episodes. I think
was
Dan
so
and I
fucking tired.
You were out, dude. Dan and I must have
so tired.
We were up until like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I remember waking up again. I remember waking up, and you were still watching it. I was like, "Oh my god, you're still going."
Boy, the dreams he must have had that night with that as his background noise. Oh.
So it's about this it's like this high school or college or whatever where there's like a hierarchy of gambling, and if you gamble a lot then you get a lot of money. The more money you have, the higher your status is. But if you're in debt, then you become like a house pet, and like people treat you poorly, and they like make you like owe people stuff, and there's like actual like violent shit going on. It's crazy. It's currently my favorite just because it's so like the characters are so fucked up in the head and everything is just so insane. And I don't know, I just find it to be really entertaining. But when we went back to Dan's house, because I stopped at Dan's place before I went home after Canada, we continued watching it. And I have a photo. God, I wish I could find it. I'll post it in editor's resources when I find it. I have a photo of Dan like sitting with a pillow in his lap, just like 2 feet from the television screen. And the anime play. And we watched it until like 2 a.m. that day too.
Oh man, what a night.
Oh, it's so good. I don't know if they're making a season 3, but I just remember being really enveloped by the whole concept of just how insane that show was. And I don't think I've released. We started watching Death Note a little bit. I remember that.
You just together?
Yeah, and I didn't really get
to watch
to
Death Note. Death Note's like a must-watch.
I haven't gotten the opportunity to pick up on it, but I know that is the one that everybody is like, that is a must-watch. You have to see it. It's totally good.
Like, if I have to give an unbiased opinion on anime that people who have never watched anime should watch, it is Death Note, and it is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I haven't even watched Brotherhood. I've just watched the original, and I love the original, and apparently Brotherhood's just better.
So you just know. You just got that hunch. I should take your word for that. The last time you recommended a show to me, it was Breaking Bad, and I ended up binging all of that, so I trust the judgment.
I remember you messaged me, you're like, dude, I just finished the show, and I was like, holy shit, you did that really quickly.
Man. I'm already caught up on Better Call Saul, and I'm waiting until they release season 6. Yeah.
Are you actually caught up on Better Call Saul?
So fucking good, dude. It's so good.
I'm not even caught up on Better Call Saul.
You gotta catch up on Better Call Saul.
I've heard that Better Call Saul actually gets up there with Breaking Bad. Like, it actually gets seriously fucking good. And that blows my mind because Breaking Bad was the best show I've ever watched.
Oh yeah,
would you vouch? Would you say that it also gets up there?
I would say that it gets up there. I don't know where you left off, but like in the last 2 seasons before season 6, shit starts getting really, because then there's conflict between what happens with Breaking Bad characters and Better Call Saul characters, because it's a prequel, so it all starts to... And this is not an anime, but I geek out over because I love it.
A TV show, it kind of mingles in with the same kind of vibe. Yeah,
exactly. So
I get you. I had no idea you picked up Better Call Saul. That's sick.
Yeah, and that is why I haven't watched a lot of anime.
That's my point.
There we go. I made somebody proud today, even though I'm not an anime head. But yeah,
exactly.
that's my whole anime experience as it is right now.
Okay. I definitely think you of all people would enjoy Death Note. It's kind of edgy, like on the edgier side, but it's like
a little edgy.
It's one of those shows that like has a really engrossing plot line. Like, it's one of those shows that you really want to watch the next episode because of just how the plot is put together. It's like a game of cat and mouse between two people, essentially, throughout the whole show. And I can't describe it without spoiling anything, but it's just really fucking good. It's really, really fucking good. It's the first real anime I watched outside of Dragon Ball Z, so that was my experience.
Yeah, it's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah. Dan.
Hello.
Go on. I know how in tune you are with your inner weeb, so go on, hit me with it. Favorite anime? Any anime?
Quick side
watching
tangent. Hayden, have I shown you the thing with Death Note in the Angry Birds game? Okay, I'll show it to you later. I'm sorry. No. People in the comments may know what I'm talking about without any context. I'll show it to you later. So
okay.
So I run into I'm a big weeb and I love binging manga and anime, and I run into the situation similar to how Jay overlapped you with Better Call Saul being caught up, where like you got him into it, but now he's more caught up than you. I run into that a lot with like anime and manga, where my friend will be like, yo, new manga, new anime just airing, I'm gonna check it out, and I finish it and I'm like, yo, did you see this thing? And I'm like, oh, slow down, I'm still at episode 5, and I'm like, what's the point? So I run into that with two of my favorite anime right now, Spy Family and Ranking of Kings. Both came from a recommendation from my friend Sam Ricardo, and I finished the manga of Spy Family and the anime of Ranking of Kings before he got anywhere close to the ending. And I'm like, how have you not caught up on these things? So pretty much to answer your question there, some of my favorite anime right now, Spy Family, Ranking of Kings, both incredible bangers. Kaguya, To Your Eternity. I think Kaguya is like one of my favorite comedies of all time. I think that show is so funny. There's actually, I can bring it all around to you guys. Kaguya is a comedy show between the two most prideful people, the two most prideful people that are each trying to get the other person to confess to each other. They're both like kid geniuses, so they know how to like run like social dynamics like really well, and so they do these weird back and forths to try and trap each other into social conventions that make everything seem like they're asking each other out, but they don't want to ask each other out. It's a stupid little rom-com.
I think you've told me about this in the past.
But
you told me about this in the past.
One of the things it does super well is being very in the times with its chapters. Later manga chapters, they have characters playing Among Us that like make Among Us callouts. They have like whole conversations about Among Us. Okay, go on, sir. One of my favorite chapters is the one they did about YouTube streaming.
Is this the one of like the super chats and stuff?
Yes,
like you can see like the chat window.
Yes.
Yeah. You showed me this a while ago.
It's like chapter 191. Out of nowhere, one of the fathers in the show is like, son, daughter, I want to be a VTuber. And he talks about using face rig and drawing programs, and I have experience with OBS in my last professions. And I'm like, I'm so validated. I know all of the... He's talking about like DW, like digital audio workflows or workspaces, DAWs, and he's like...
DAWs,
yeah. And he's like, yeah, I have experience with OBS, so this wouldn't be too hard to do. And yeah, in this character, he starts up a YouTube streaming thing. And it's so perfectly, they got all the information.
They got it 1-to-1.
Spot on. Because they talk about like how much he's earning per month. Because he is the father of our protagonist. So it's like a B plot to this whole, thing going on. The protagonist comes home from school after like 3 months after his dad, made a declaration he was going to start up a YouTube channel. And he's like, I bet you're not even at 50 subscribers. He checks his dad's YouTube account on his phone. He's at like 50,000 subscribers. And he's like, what the hell? His sister's like, yeah, he's actually making bank. Like, like all of his videos have like 350,000 views. With like, he has like the Obelix Pro font on the thumbnails, like the Mr. Beast font.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, like the amount that he was making is correlated to how many views he was getting. And I'm like, how did they know? How do they know?
How do they get inside of my head?
Yeah, and so they do this whole little thing on streaming, this little one chapter thing, and it's the dad streaming from the kitchen, talking about like finance advice and stuff like that. And
oh my god.
The daughter, she's like in hysterics right now because she's been watching this growth, and this family has never had a lot of money, so to all of a sudden see this money coming from their dad who's just talking in the kitchen is the funniest thing to read and the wildest thing to them. And the daughter, she's like, hey, watch this. And she walks behind the dad real quick to get some water and go back. And all of a sudden, like $100 super chats start popping up in like the live feed. And she's like, every one of these red messages is $100.
Wow, it's red. It's even accurate to the
Yeah.
color
Like,
of the
the
super
UI
chat.
and everything is like correct. And she's
That's
like,
too funny.
she's having like a breakdown over this. And he's like, oh my god, it's corrupting her morals. She's like,
Oh my God.
I know I shouldn't do this, but I do it every so often, and I see the red super chats come in. It's such a funny show. It's such a funny show. It gets humor
That is
and
awesome.
traditional, modern comedy and nails it so much. I'm sorry to talk so much about Kaguya.
No, you're
but,
good.
like,
You're good.
It's one of my favorite chapters because it comes out of nowhere. And it's just like, what is this super relevant humor? I've never seen a show or
They're
manga
just
nail
like
it as
me
well.
for real.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
seen a
really.
show or manga nail modern comedy as perfectly as Kaguya does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you told me 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You said, brother, watch Kaguya.
Yeah, because it just it blindsided me. I'm like, what is this chapter about YouTube streaming that's done, like, perfectly? Like, I don't know, man. And then, if you don't mind me rambling a little bit more here.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, To Your Eternity is my favorite anime. I think there's a lot of anime that compete for my favorite anime, but To Your Eternity is beautiful and brilliant. It's pretty much just this show based on the idea of God created, God, the concept God, whatever, creator of the world, creates this orb. And this orb, the whole idea around it is he tosses it onto Earth, and the orb will become whatever things it's influenced by, or it receives stimulation from, right? So he tosses it into the Earth, and the orb hits a rock, and the orb becomes a rock, right?
Okay.
And it just sits there. It sits there for like 100 years, for maybe not 100 years, tens, whatever years. And eventually, by coincidence, in the middle of winter, a random rogue wolf just happens to die of natural causes on top of the rock. And then the rock becomes the wolf. And then the wolf wanders, and the wolf finds the owner, someone from, must be like, the year 1000, very primitive, very early, kind of civilization. And eventually, the boy passes on, and the wolf becomes the boy. And then the boy starts wandering the earth, and it turns into a weird commentary of like, what if you tossed an immortal being inside the world of our normal world, our world of like mortals, and it learns various things over time, and outgrows other characters, and it's weird to watch the relationships and dynamics change. It's super emotional, and it's a very
I can imagine. That sounds like it has a very emotionally driven story to it.
beautiful soundtrack, beautiful art.
How long is it? How many episodes?
Right now it's 20 episodes. The manga goes for
is it ongoing?
Yeah, ongoing. Manga's super ongoing right now, very far into the future. Season 2 has been confirmed. If you watch it, enjoy it, but also never watch the opening, because the opening is super spoily until you finish the first
I love
season.
I love it when anime spoils
Hate
stuff. I love it so much. It's the best thing ever.
Oh, God. And then the final anime I'll talk you guys' ear off of is one that's a little bit more popular, Mob Psycho.
Okay.
I've heard about this.
Oh, yeah. If you're looking for my recommendation for an anime to get into if you've never watched anime or seen anime, it's either, from the same author, One Punch Man or Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho.
One Punch Man is... See, I've watched One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And I know Snowy used to go on and on about how much she loved Mob Psycho, and she said if I enjoyed One Punch Man, I would enjoy Mob Psycho. Because it's in a very similar vein where it doesn't really take itself too seriously, but then there are moments where it kind of just does, and it like works for it.
Yeah.
So like I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of Mob Psycho like a month ago, and it had really pretty animation.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I was watching it in a call with a couple other people, so I couldn't really focus on it too much. But I just remember it being really fucking pretty. Like the first episode, like the intro to the first episode shows Mob just going fucking like crazy with like I don't exactly know what's happening, because that's like I've only watched 2 episodes, but like he's like glowing white and like there's like fucking colors everywhere, and he's like
psychedelic.
There's like flames and shit happening. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But this is gorgeous.
So much saturation to consume at once.
So many colors, so much movement.
Oh god, dude. So the simple premise of Mob Psycho is, what if there was a broken, overpowered, super but very humble psychic child who was being gaslit and scammed by a con artist psychic into thinking, yeah. So the con artist psychic is like, he's running a business, he's running a shady business, you know, throwing salt everywhere, ridding spirits of people who are gullible. And his protege, his tutor, is an actual psychic kid who he is gaslighting into thinking that he is the greatest psychic of all time. And it runs into, you know, clients will be like, oh, I think my house is possessed. Oh, someone died there many years ago. I think I'm being haunted. And the guy's scamming them for every penny. And they're like, yeah, we'll go to your place and rid it of any spirits that happen to be there. And he goes there with, you know, his psychic kid. And there do happen to be like very creepy, crazy spirits that are possessing the house. And, you know, the kid who's broken just dismisses the spirits, gets rid of them for real. It's a very funny dynamic. It's a very great show all the way through. Has a lot of sad moments. We're talking about Mob Psycho, Gab.
Okay.
Yeah, it has just some of the best writing and animation I've seen in anime, and I think it's truly one of the best ones to show to anyone.
Yeah, that sounds like it very much lines up with the same kind of premise as One Punch Man. Do you know anything about One Punch Man, Jay, at all?
Not at all. I don't think I've even heard of it.
So One Punch Man he's a guy that got bored, so he trained himself to become no, he didn't get bored, sorry. He just did some really vigorous training and then was able to kill anything in one punch, and then he was bored, right? Because no one could like put up a challenge. Is that the premise?
Yeah.
Well, I think from what I remember is a guy at like a desk job ended up saving a kid from a monster. He liked it, so he started training, but he trained so hard that he became overpowered, and now he can't have any challenge because he's overpowered, so
he's just bored as hell. He's just bored as hell. Because there'll be like these really shonen-esque big monster guys that are like causing huge devastation across the city. People are screaming, they're tearing people in half. There's like so much chaos happening. One Punch Man will just walk up to them and be like, hey, what's up? I just did my groceries. Do you want an apple? And they'll be like, and then they'll have a conversation. And then eventually when he's had enough of the conversation, he'll just like very lightly touch his fist to the person's to like this monster's like flesh, and they'll just fucking explode and their organs will go everywhere.
Oh dude, I gotta watch this. It's awesome.
He is like the most overpowered character in existence, and it's so fucking funny.
A good comparison is if Jay, how many RPGs have you played? JRPGs. Anything?
JRPGs.
Pokemon. I mean, I know you're not familiar with Pokemon too often, but
I mean, I've played Pokemon, so I guess that's probably as far as it goes.
It's pretty much the comparison of like, what if like a level 100 dude who'd beaten the game, maxed out the Elite Four, the whole thing, just was living in Pallet Town, and he walks around and he encounters like Joey, the Rattata guy, and Joey's a pretty big fish in the pond. He's got like a level 7 Rattata, so he's like, oh, you're challenging me? Let me show you the power of my Rattata. This guy is he's monologuing. This is like a 30-minute monologue of how powerful this dude's Rattata is. And you're just sitting there with your 7 level 100 Giratinas that are like, okay. Anyway.
You die now.
Yeah, exactly. So you
just about done.
You obviously wouldn't take anything seriously, so everything is casual punches and casual kicks for him, and everything just pops.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I may, I think I just found my answer for my best anime, favorite anime. And it's definitely the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, 100%.
Oh boy.
Sono Chino Sadame. JoJo. Sorry. It just
And
overcame
Joseph
me.
is best JoJo, just gotta lay it out loud, you know.
Really? Joseph's alright. I like Joseph.
Who's your favorite?
I like Joe. I'm a fucking basic bitch. I like Jotaro.
Well, I mean, his final battle's good, but as a character, he's pretty
got a
much
good
a
final
cardboard,
battle.
you know? It's like, oh yeah, I like punching things.
His English dub voice is Matt Mercer, and I like Matt Mercer.
All right, you get that.
Yeah, it's Matt Mercer. He's just talking like this constantly, and it's awesome.
So
even though Dio in the dub sucks,
so Jay,
because like because obviously Dio will stop time with like Zawara, yeah. But like in the dub, the lip flaps don't match up, so they have to like add extra words. So he's like, once more, the world! And I'm like, that sucks. That's not good. That's just not good. That's not, I'm sorry, I can't watch the dub anymore. Sorry, go on. You're gonna ask Jay something?
Yeah, so Jay, what's your favorite JoJo? Jotaro, Joseph, Josuke, Jolene, or Giorno?
Yeah, all right, go on.
I don't know. If I had to pick one,
Don't tell me that wasn't intentional. That was so intentional.
it was completely an accident, I promise, and I'm telling the truth.
No, you're a
I'm
funny man. You're getting some content, I know you.
You know I'm telling the truth because I'm looking at you right in the eye, and I would never lie. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to guess. Based off of name, Jotaro has the most symbols. So syllables rather.
Boo, boo.
And he does that, I guess. So I'm on board.
He does. He says yari yari daze, and everyone goes.
Wow, I wish I could do that.
Although I do like Jotaro in part 4, you know, so I'll accept that.
Yeah, he's cool in part 4 too. So my favorite anime. Oh my god, what is my favorite anime?
Here we go.
Oh come on!
Is it not what I expect? Is it not the obvious answer?
You think it's One Piece?
I'd be amazed if you didn't talk about One Piece today, quite frankly.
Okay, all right. So Death Note, I really fucking like Death Note. It's been years since I watched it, but I remember being gripped from start to finish. It was like a very contained experience. The storytelling was tight. The pacing was really well done. Like, there wasn't a slow moment. Once it got started, it didn't really let up. It was just, it was like Breaking Bad. It starts a bit slow, and then it starts ramping up, and then it's just a constant incline. It never really gets slow. And it just gets better and better as more things happen. And it's like Breaking Bad. There will be things happen that you never think would happen. And I have a very, very soft spot for that show just because of how engrossed I was, considering the only other show I'd watched before that, anime-wise anyway, was Dragon Ball Z. And with Dragon Ball Z, there's no... I love Dragon Ball Z. I'm not going to sit here and not say I don't. I'm fucking obsessed with it. But there is a point in the series where you feel like there's just no stakes anymore. Because people die, they come back, they die again, they come back, they die again, they triple, they turbo die, and then they're back again next episode.
They turbo die.
Goku has died at least 15 times in the show's run. And I'm just like...
Actually, it's only 3, okay?
Hyperbole, Gab. You heard of it? But, he's died a lot. I mean, it's a bit weird that it happened more than once, okay?
Yeah.
But, Death Note was more grounded, which is weird to say about a show about a notebook that will kill someone.
I was gonna say that one's a little more plausible, so I can get in with that one.
Yeah. Well, when people die in Death Note, they die for good. So
they die for real, so that's realistic.
Well, it's like I think it's more grounded than Dragon Ball Z. I'll put it that way. And that was and that kind of sucked me into the show a lot more. Full Metal Alchemist, also really fucking good show. really like incredible storytelling. The characters were all like, you know, the characters were all likable. They all felt real. They all had like their own, you know, baggage and emotional trauma. But it also did the shonen thing where it was wacky a lot of the time and wasn't taking itself too seriously. And I've heard Brotherhood is just a better version of the original Full Metal Alchemist, so I need to watch that at some point. My current obsession, One Piece. Yes, I'm gonna talk about One Piece.
Bum,
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 Bum, bum, bum, bum.
I like that we all have reference for One Piece.
Bum, bum. Okay. What? I'm only 202 episodes in, so I'm still early, which is fucking wild to say. I am still early into the show. The show has 1,017 episodes so far.
Jesus, that is ludicrous.
I am a fifth of the way through the show, and I've only started watching like recently. But
it's like 2 months ago, I think, right?
I started a year ago. This was besides the point.
Holy shit, dude,
well,
that's
so I started a year ago. I stopped 90 episodes in, and then 2 months ago I picked it up again, and now I'm at episode 200.
Oh my gosh, that's so much anime, dude.
But the thing with it, right, with One Piece is everyone says they don't want to watch One Piece because it seems like too much of a commitment. It seems too daunting.
That's me. I say that.
Yeah, it's because you see 1,000 episodes, you're like, oh, fuck that, dude. I want to watch something of like 12. Yeah, exactly. But then you give it a shot because everyone's talking about it. You don't want to feel left out. You don't want to let that FOMO sink in because everyone's talking about it on Twitter. They're saying it's peak fiction, and you're like, okay, is it really that good? It can't be that good, right? And then you give it a shot. You watch a few episodes, and you're like, it's okay. It's like an early 90s shonen anime. Fair enough, but and then people are like, okay, but it gets good later on. So I'm like, okay, I'll bite. I'll watch like a couple. I'll watch like 20 episodes, and then like early One Piece is good, but it's not like incredible. It's like very drip feedy. Like when you're meeting the crew for the first time, it's very just like it's something I can put on while I'm like eating a meal or something. But then there's a specific early arc that happens. I won't say any names just because I don't know what's considered spoilers for One Piece. But there is an arc that happens like 50 episodes in. 50. And like there's a specific set of moments in that arc that happens where you're like, oh fuck, I'm in this for the long haul.
Luffy dies.
Yeah, Luffy dies. The show, and then
it's okay. He's got the Dragon Ball, guys. I know that.
Exactly. He's like Goku for real. But that specific set of events happens, and then you're like, shit, this show means business. and then from there I'm at episode 200, so I watched 150 episodes since then, and what people have said is true. It just gets better. It does consistently get better. There are pacing issues in the anime. There are moments where it feels a lot slower than others, but I've never watched a show that can make me cry as much as One Piece.
Really?
There is stuff that happens almost consistently in every single arc where I'm like, oh, man, what the fuck, dude? Come on, dude. What the hell? And like, it's not even necessarily sad things. It's just like raw imagery, powerful moments, and you're like, that's my guy. He's doing it. Like,
Fyrus, you are my nakama.
No, you're gonna make me cry, Gab. You're gonna make me cry.
Jay just sitting there, stone faced, like, what a fucking.
I don't know.
He's just like, what is he? What did he just say?
Most cringy shit.
Fucking weebs.
But
I'm gonna get back to my gambling schoolgirl anime.
my god, I genuinely think if you gave One Piece a shot, you'd like it. It's fucking pirates, dude.
No, that's
They're
what I'm
going on an
scared of.
adventure.
I'm scared of giving One Piece a shot and then liking it, and then my YouTube channel dies as a consequence because I can't.
I mean,
stop.
dude, it happened to me. So
Hey, look where I ended up, man. Give it a shot.
hey man, I'm a glowing example of what can happen to your YouTube channel if you watch One Piece.
Poster boy.
I do really like how your scenario about One Piece started about like, okay, so let's say it's a hypothetical. You're thinking about it, you give it a shot, everyone's talking about it, you're like, okay, but then halfway through it, seep through, you're like, so then I was watching this, and it's like, aha, that is what happened to you, isn't it, Hayden? You fell victim to the wormhole that is One Piece.
I absolutely did. Because like, One Piece is just one of those shows where, like, you know, if you're having like a shitty day, shitty week, shitty month, you like can particularly just, you know, in your bag, you're feeling emotional, shitty life, you know, feeling kind of depressed. It's peak binge content for when you're feeling kind of bad, because like the characters all like what are you laughing at?
One Piece preys on negative emotions and poor mental states. If
because it's a feel-good show.
Watch One Piece.
Please don't twist my words. That's not what I meant.
That was my giggle fit. I'm sorry.
One Piece good. That's all I have to say.
One Piece very good. One Piece is a very feels-good show. I
had a whole tangent and you
Please. I don't want to take away from it because One Piece is a
nah,
whole
it's good. The moment has passed. It's fine. Good show though.
Fantastic show. It runs on for, you're not wrong, just a while in the manga and everything. The manga's getting into like some great stuff, and like the movies are going, you know, popping off. It is. It's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic watch, and there's a reason why it's so big. End of the day, there's a reason why it's so.
That is the most popular manga of all time.
Oh my god, is it really? Wow.
They have statues built of like most of the characters throughout Japan. Just in like,
I believe it.
Yeah.
I would believe it.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Luffy one is built in the hometown where Oda was raised, the mangaka.
That's so sick. Imagine having a statue. Imagine having a statue of your protagonist built like in your hometown.
Isn't that
crazy?
Like, could you imagine? Oh my god.
Imagine your OC being built in front of your elementary school.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But yeah, what I was saying a while ago before Dan rudely interrupted my wholesome message was that it's just a feel-good show. Like the characters, like they're goofy. The show is very, very fucking goofy a lot of the time. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously until it does, and it hits when it does. Like, I mean, it really hits you in here when the show gets real. And you think that the tonal shift between being goofy and being like emotional and serious would just not work together. But it somehow they just fucking make it work really well. Like you can take this character being silly and running around looking for meat in an entire like government base, and then you can take him being serious and defending his friends to the death because some emotional attachment to a thing that some guy stole from them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy.
I mean, that's kind of what, I don't know, again, I'm tying it to something non-anime because that's the only reference that I have, but like that's kind of what the Avengers was kind of like with Endgame. Like there's a lot, they really made sure that like Marvel movies have comedic effect. Obviously some of them, the recent ones haven't been, but there's always like, it's not just like comedic relief, it's like an actual tailored in aspect and storytelling element that makes it feel lighthearted, but then when something serious happens, you're like, fuck. Like I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, I get the through line there, but One Piece is like, you take Avengers goofiness, it times it by like 10 maybe.
Oh, Christ.
it gets really goofy because
I like silly wacky.
They are very silly, they're very wacky, they do very silly and wacky things, but when it's real, it's real, and the writing is incredible for it.
Dang. Well, maybe it's worth No, don't do it, Jay. You have business to run.
He almost got one more push.
I'm still. Well, look, I tell you, the best benefit of this episode, for me at least, I'm like in a grocery store right now. I'm getting all these recommendations for things that I never would have even thought to check out, such as One Piece and Full Metal Alchemist. And the other one that you said, the one that Dan said seemed really interesting.
One Piece.
Yeah, that one. That's the one, I think. And then the other one that Dan said, which I think was
One Piece.
That was it. Thank you. And then there was another one that Dan said earlier that was something about the orb that comes down and it touches everything.
Yeah.
The One Piece.
Yeah, the One Piece.
Was that One Piece? I must be thinking of One Piece. Then that's what I need to.
The orb is called the One Piece. You see.
I see. That is the One Piece. Is that it falls down and it is the. Yeah, that's a good question. What is the One Piece? That's probably spoilers, actually.
Oh boy. Okay, so I can only speak from where I am at. Can you imagine we end the episode?
Final question of Mouthfuls is what is the One Piece? What a fucking tangent of all things.
So, do you want the real answer to what the One Piece is?
When I asked, I wasn't expecting a fake one, so hit me with the hard facts, dude. I get unless we're gonna like die for this. Your hesitation scares me. I feel like we're gonna get arrested.
So I'm speaking purely from where I am at, and this could be wildly inaccurate because there is 800 episodes of content that could easily change what I think it is.
Okay,
but the One Piece, from what I understand, okay, let me give you some context. So Gold Roger is was the king of the pirates.
Let me give you some context. Hey, why is this episode 80 hours long? What the hell?
Okay. Gold Roger was the king of the pirates. More context, okay?
Sing over what?
You know, can we get the 4-kid intro of One Piece? You know, gold, fame, stuff.
Yo. All right, let me try and condense this as much as I can.
Okay.
So there's this. So there's this thing called the Grand Line. Okay.
Grand Line. Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. So, fuck. How do I explain this? So there's this thing. Okay. I'll try and cut the bullshit. There's this thing called the Grand Line. It's separated from the rest of the ocean. You can't get into the Grand Line without doing some crazy bullshit to get in. Because there's like things called calm belts, which if you try and sail through them, your boat will stop. And there's like a bunch of monsters and shit.
Oh, I played Sea of Thieves. I'm with this. I'm about this.
Yeah. So there's a thing called the Grand Line. At the end of the Grand Line, there is a island that no one has been to apart from one pirate crew. And the captain of that pirate crew is called Gold Roger.
Okay.
And allegedly, his entire life's fortune, all of his treasure is left on that island. That's what they think. And he called it the One Piece.
Oh.
And it's alleged. We don't actually know if it's there. As far as I know, anyway, it's not. They think it's there at the end of the Grand Line.
It would be awesome if the entire show is just everyone trying to get there and dying all the way, and then they all get there, and it is literally one piece of gold left behind. And he was like, I told you guys, it's just one piece. You guys went for it. Oh man, I should have wrote this show.
My answer is definitely probably dated by at least 20 years because there is, like I said, 800 episodes of material there.
I see.
That can probably add to what my answer was.
I see. Yeah, maybe the One Piece was the friends we made along the way. You know.
I was gonna go for that.
I can at least say it's not that because it's been confirmed that it is a physical thing.
Okay, maybe it was the physical friends that we made along the way.
Because like people have said, what if the One Piece is just the friends we made along the way? What if it's nothing? I'm pretty
1,000 episodes for that kind of cop out.
I'm pretty sure Oda has said it's a physical treasure. There is something there. Don't I hate this guy because that was making me doubt the legitimacy of what I'm saying. It's a physical thing for as far as I know. Thank you for watching.
What is it? That's the season finale of Mouthfuls.
I mean, does anyone else have anything else to add? I mean, like, there are video game anime, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with them at all.
Yeah.
There's video game anime?
Yeah, there's like Animal Crossing. There was an Animal Crossing movie, which is anime, which is pretty good. It's just a wholesome, like,
Yeah, that's cute.
it's a cute little anime. There's the Mario There's the Mario OVA, which is weird as fuck. It's really weird. It's like Princess Peach and Bowser escape from a video game that Mario is playing in his room.
Yes.
And then he has to try and save her through the video game. They go back into the video game world. It's really fucking weird. There's Sonic X.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
heard
I
of
guess
Sonic
that would
X?
count. I remember Sonic X. I saw that when I loved that when I was a kid. That was technically my first anime, if that counts as an anime in a way.
Yeah, no, it is an anime. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
I think it's
Come
pretty good.
on.
I remember that. And that's right.
Pokemon, the big one. Like, literally
could I-
probably the most widespread, biggest anime in the West, at
How could I
least.
forget that? I mean, I'm like, oh, video game anime, what?
I know one that isn't technically an anime, but Avatar: The Last Airbender kind of edges.
Oh,
on
it
the line,
definitely
you know?
edges the line for sure. Like,
Oh.
that is. I think they went out of their way to try and make that in something that's comparable to an anime.
So we're going for a controversial finale. I see what's going on here. Well,
I
Yeah.
mean, they did. They have said that that it was supposed to be similar in style to an anime, except it's just made in the West. Is that controversial? Maybe, I don't know.
no, I think people, have come to the conclusion that it's a cartoon based on an anime. I just think it's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've watched through that entirety recently, and if that counts, then that's one of my favorite series. It's one of my favorite shows in general. It's really good.
Like half counts, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd say
I'll
it's more a
take that.
cartoon, but it's definitely influenced by anime.
You
Right,
get like
that's
an
fair.
honorary weeb title, you know? That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
That's
You
all
have
that I
like
really wanted.
It's like a probation. You have it for 2 weeks,
I got my Cinderella
and
license
in that
for
2 weeks you have to watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece to prove that you're actually.
to get my graduated actual proper big
Yeah.
boy license. Yeah, so I can drive on the road
Exactly.
after 11 p.m. Of course, everything I ever wanted.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I guess I got to increase my shopping list of anime that needs to be watched once I catch up with Better Call Saul. And Hayden, you need to catch up with Better Call Saul because it's good
I
stuff.
do,
We'll
'cause I've heard
trade
it's good
recommendations.
Yeah, you watch One Piece, I watch Better Call Saul.
Well, one of us is going to be committed to much longer of a watch than the
Yeah,
other.
I know Better Call Saul has got a lot of content to it. I'm
It's
really
like
taking
6,000
the bullet for you.
episodes. The arcs are
Yeah.
insane, man. It's nuts. Totally
Yeah.
worth a watch, though.
The recent one, Saul becomes a cyborg and goes back in time to kill Sarah Connor or something like that.
It is an insane, no spoilers, but man, you got to watch it. It's great.
I will definitely give that a gander.
Totally. Well, I mean, I know we're kind of approaching the end here, but I did want to ask one thing, since this is our finale of Mouthfuls. I want to ask you guys, what are you doing after this? Where do we go from here? What is to be of the Mouthfuls? And I'm curious what your guys' plans are with content creation in the future and what you're doing with your channels right now. If people are watching this Mouthfuls episode and it ends, where do they need to go? What do they expect to see? What are they waiting for? What are we going to give them? That's what people want to know.
YouTube.com/Fyrus. Give me to 100k. There were 20k of you here. You can do it.
Yeah. From my math, that is exactly what we need.
Give me to 100,000. I know some of you aren't subscribed to me. Come on.
Yeah, and you, it's really embarrassing if you're not. I mean, it shows, and everybody's looking at you. No pressure.
I know I've been watching a lot. I know I've been watching a lot of One Piece, but I'm gonna get back to making videos soon, and it's gonna be really embarrassing if you're not there for it.
Yeah, you're gonna miss them if you're not subscribed because they're spontaneous. So notifications on, dude. That's facts. It's exciting. Do you have any particular plans for content, or do you want to keep it all secret and hidden and mysterious?
I want to keep it secret. I know that some of it's already out there. I've posted clips on Twitter, which is @FyrusYT, by the way. And some of the clips are up there of future projects, but I want to keep the ones that are coming soon kind of under wraps for a bit.
I like it. It's exciting. It keeps people on the edge of our seats. All right, Dan, how about you? What's going on youtube.com/Failboat103, who can't seem to get the Twitter handle Failboat on Twitter?
Hopefully that's Dane. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, that's what's he mean? It's @Failboat. Hey there. So I like curvy content. I'm in my curvy era and I'm thriving. I'm living my
It's the
best
Kirby
life.
arc of Failboat.
I hit 1 million subscribers and I'm like, I'm just gonna simply make Kirby content and love it. And I have been doing both of that. I'm just gonna keep on thriving with Nintendo-based variety stuff as as I've been doing and living my best life because of it. I got some interesting chat plays based kind of stuff going on that I want to keep experimenting with, and that's my goal. I'm gonna keep on doing Nintendo from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Is there any big projects or anything exciting coming up that you want to leak to us, or is it all confidential government issued information?
Animal Crossing but Strangers 5 is coming.
Fuck off. You're lying.
Oh shit, he
I
ain't
don't
for
believe
real.
you. You said this was coming like 5 months ago.
It's currently in editing.
No.
But like for real,
No, it's not. It's been burned before.
Literally in the pipeline at the moment.
You
the
sent this to me
pipeline.
in January.
Summer 2022.
I mean, I can't
Premiere
talk.
today,
I haven't
save the file.
I haven't uploaded a video in a month, but you can't do this to me.
Hey, as a wise man once said, a delayed Failboat video is often better than the average Jaymoji. So, I'm willing to sit here and wait it out. That's awesome. I'm excited. All right, Gab, the man, the myth, the legend, the father, and the Splatoon creator. What do you got coming up for us, Gab? What do we need to be excited about?
Well, I mean, I'm officially a stay-at-home dad from now on, so it's kind of on the back burner. But when my kid sleeps, I work in silence, in the shadow. I'm like a silent guardian of Splatoon content.
Real Gabs move in silence like lasagna. Go ahead.
And I'm just as tasty.
I don't know, Hayden. I have no idea.
The line is supposed to be real G's move in silence like lasagna. G for Gab. Lasagna is silent when you say it out loud. Anyway.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not. Run it back again one more.
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Lasagna has a G in it, but you don't hear it when you say it out loud.
Well, you kind of hear it because it's not lasagna, you know, it's lasagna.
Well, it's not lasagna.
Lasagna.
Listen, man, if you got a problem,
you
you
say
can...
dandelion, bro. Shut up.
If you have a problem, you can talk to Lil Wayne about it because he came up with the lyric. Okay,
Good
you want to
callback.
speak to the lyric master? Okay, that's the one you go to.
But
What?
just like the lasagna of legends of old, I mean, okay, lasagna don't work on content, but I am working on a video that, if everything goes right, should be live this Friday, and it's on a very special game that has Bugs Bunny, Batman, and Shaggy.
Yo, Marvel vs. Capcom?
Close enough.
Wait a minute. This Friday, Mouthfuls premieres on Friday. That's today.
Oh, so it might
Oh my
already be
God.
out.
Oh
or
shit!
Not.
If Gab kept his promise and didn't delay it, it's probably out. If not,
I was gonna say you should never say that on Mouthfuls. I did that before and the video still isn't out. A month ago I said that.
It's cool. If it's late, I'm just gonna say it's because I'm a great dad. You know, I took too good care of
Yeah.
my son, so my video is not out. Alright.
wow, he can't lose.
That's an impenetrable defense. I have to commend it.
He's either a great dad or a great YouTuber. You just nobody can be at Gab's level.
Can't have
simply
both,
put.
though.
You can't have both. No. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited. You guys are my favorite content creators, and I'm very excited to see the content that you guys are producing. It is very exciting. Genuine note. I have very great content creator friends who are amongst us right now, and I'm excited. You guys should be excited too to see whatever we're going to release next. My plan is just get to 500,000 by the end of the year and keep producing stuff. We know Splatoon 3 is coming, so that's going to be a big thing for all of us. And that's extremely exciting. I feel really good about getting in and posting consistently and making videos and blah 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 and all this other stuff. So I think the future is very promising, and I know that the Mouthfuls, even if we aren't doing Mouthfuls, no matter what it is that we're doing, we got good stuff we're going to deliver to you guys, guaranteed. Always and always and always, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until we die. What's the SpongeBob quote? It's like we cook food and we serve the food. We do that for 47
Thank you
years
so
and
much for
then we
watching
die.
Mouthfuls, everyone.
I thought he was gonna say we're gonna be on strike forever.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Mouthfuls.
I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god.
Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be.
They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke!